Hey everyone, welcome back to Fanatic Scope, where we take films seriously, even when they come wrapped in aliens and Elvis songs. Today's deep dive is about one of Disney's most quietly powerful works, Lilo and Stitch. This isn't just a quirky cartoon. It's a story about loss, about identity, about chosen family, and yes, it still hurts, because it dares to show the cracks beneath the sunshine. But it's also stunning, joyful, and oddly healing. At a time when Disney's recent output, from Strange World to that awkward-looking Snow White reboot, feels confused and hollow, Lilo and Stitch stands out as their best modern film, maybe even their last great one. Let's explore why. We open in deep space. Experiment 626 is on trial, a genetic terror built to destroy everything he touches. He escapes, crash landing on Earth. Cut to Hawaii. We meet Lilo, a strange, passionate, lonely little girl raised by her older sister Nani after their parents' death. Lilo is spiraling emotionally, getting into fights, collecting photos of overweight tourists, and dancing to Elvis. She's not a Disney princess. She's a real child, traumatized, creative, and yearning to be seen. Meanwhile, Nani is barely holding it together, juggling jobs, fending off child services, and failing at pretending she's not falling apart. Into this chaos arrives Stitch, adopted from the local shelter by Lilo. She thinks he's just a weird dog. He's not. He's a monster. He wrecks everything until he doesn't. The longer Stitch stays, the more he starts to want something alien to him, belonging. But aliens are hunting him. The government is watching, and the cracks in Nani and Lilo's life are growing too wide to hide. The climax isn't just a rescue mission, it's a decision. Can broken people really become a family? This is where Lilo and Stitch become something much greater than a children's film. Let's start with grief. Lilo is hurting, and no one knows how to help her. The film doesn't sugarcoat childhood trauma. She lashes out, she isolates, she finds comfort in fantasy because reality is unbearable. That's real. Nani, on the other hand, is grief's silent echo. She sacrifices everything. She's exhausted, terrified, and constantly told she's not enough. But she still chooses Lilo every day. Then there's Stitch, engineered for chaos, born without a soul. The film asks, can something made to destroy choose love instead? And that metaphor extends beyond the science fiction. It's about identity, about free will, about healing from what we were taught or built to be. And at the center is Ohana, not blood, not perfection, just people choosing each other, no matter how damaged they are. But here's what's remarkable. The film doesn't tie it all up in a bow. There's no magical cure, no full transformation. It ends with the pain still there, but now it's shared. That's why it hurts. That's also why it heals. Visually, this is one of Disney's most original and heartfelt works. The watercolor backgrounds are stunning, soft, imperfect, nostalgic. They make Hawaii feel like a memory you're trying to hold on to. The character design rejects the usual symmetry and glamour. Everyone is flawed, rounded, real. It's emotional animation. Every twitch of Stitch's eye, every slump of Nani's shoulders speaks volumes. And the music? Elvis may seem random at first, but it works. His voice becomes the sound of Lilo's world. Bittersweet, old-fashioned, deeply American, yet beautifully woven into Hawaii's rhythm. Compare that to the slick, corporate polish of newer Disney releases. Lilo and Stitch has soul. It feels made, not manufactured. Now let's talk about the cracks, because this movie has them. 1. Tonal clashes. The film veers from heartbreaking realism to wild cartoon alien chaos, sometimes within the same scene. That whiplash undermines the stakes. One moment we're with Nani at a job interview she desperately needs, and the next, Stitch is destroying a spaceship with a gas truck. The emotional core deserves more space to breathe. Second Stitch's redemption feels rushed. Yes, Stitch is iconic, but his moral transformation, going from a destructive force to someone who loves, feels a bit too easy. We see the result, but not enough of the struggle. There was room here for internal conflict, a moment where he actually fails, hurts Lilo, and learns the cost. Instead, we skip to empathy too fast. The payoff feels a little undercooked. 3. Underdeveloped threads. Nani's character is incredible, but sidelined. We see her pain, but the film prioritizes action over emotional development. She should have had a full arc, not just reaction scenes. Hawaii, too, feels more like a setting than a story. The film gestures at cultural respect, but doesn't dig deep. In a story so rooted in outsiders, that choice feels like a missed opportunity. Still, these flaws don't ruin the film. They make it more human, more ambitious, more honest. So, why does Lilo and Stitch still hurt? Because it doesn't flinch. It shows what Disney so often avoids: kids in pain, adults failing, love that's loud and messy and complicated. It doesn't fix these things. It simply says, you're not alone. But it also radiates beauty. In its visuals, in its music, in its compassion for its characters. This is not a perfect story. It's something rarer, a truthful one. In an era where Disney is struggling, recycling old ideas, chasing algorithms, and releasing lifeless remakes like the upcoming Snow White, this film remains a beacon, a reminder of what Disney can do when it leads with story, emotion, and originality. This is Disney's last great animated film, not just because of what it says, but because of how bravely it says it. Thanks for watching this deep dive on Lilo and Stitch. This wasn't just a review, it was a revisit. And sometimes, those hurt the most. Let me know in the comments, did this film hit you harder as an adult? Is Stitch Disney's best modern character? If this breakdown spoke to you, subscribe to Fanatic Scope. Here, we don't just talk about movies, we talk about what they leave behind. See you in the next one.